So let's talk about one of the most powerful feelings we ever experience, fear. We're going to dig into how you can take this thing that usually stops you in your tracks and actually flip it, turning it into a powerful tool for growth. All right, let's get into it. I want you to start by just thinking about this for a second. What if we could actually take all that energy fear creates, the racing heart, the super sharp focus, and use it to push us forward instead of letting it paralyze us? It's a pretty wild idea, right? But the answer lies in really understanding what fear is all about. To figure that out, we've got to look under the hood. We need to see what's actually going on inside our brains and our bodies when we feel afraid. And trust me, it's a process that's been fine-tuned for millions of years. At its most basic level, fear is a survival tool. I mean, that's really all it is. It's designed to do one thing: motivate us to defend ourselves, whether that's by running away from something or just avoiding a bad situation altogether. This response, it's literally hardwired into our DNA to keep us safe.
And we all know the feeling, right? That racing heart, the sweaty palms, that tightness in your chest. That's all part of the classic fight, flight, or freeze response. It's triggered instantly by a tiny part of your brain called the amygdala. Think of it as your own personal built-in alarm system. It's super fast, totally automatic, and 100% emotional.
Okay, so this is where things get really interesting. Not every single warning bell that goes off in your head is the same. And right here, at this crossroads, is where we get to make a choice about how we're going to respond. Look at this breakdown. It really highlights the huge difference between being fearful and being cautious. Fear, that's that raw, emotional, instinctive thing. It makes you focus only on the dangers, and your mind just gets flooded with all those what-ifs. But caution, well, caution is rational. It helps you look for solutions. It doesn't freeze you. It just slows you down enough so you can act wisely. So yeah, to put it simply, fear is that gut reaction. It's that instant, automatic alarm bell ringing from that ancient, emotional part of our brain, the amygdala. Caution, though, that comes from a totally different place. It comes from the CEO of our brain, the prefrontal cortex. This is the part that handles reasoning, logic, strategy. It's a much slower, more thoughtful process. And learning how to shift from that gut reaction to a calculated response, that's the whole game. So, the big question is, how do we actually do that? How do we make that shift from pure fear to smart caution? Well, it all starts with changing how we think about it. I absolutely love this quote. It comes from sports psychology, and it just perfectly nails the whole idea of a growth mindset. Instead of seeing something go wrong as a failure to be afraid of, we can choose to see it as feedback. It's just valuable data that helps us learn and get better next time. And here's a super simple technique to put that into action. You feel that nervous energy, your heart is pounding, and you think, oh no, I'm gonna mess this up. But instead of letting that stop you, you reframe it. You tell yourself, okay, this isn't fear, this is my body getting ready. This is my body giving me the energy and focus I need to nail this. See the difference? You're not scared, you're powering up. All right, let's build on that idea. We're going to open up a toolkit with a few really practical, powerful tools you can pull out anytime you feel that fear starting to creep in. Now, this first one might sound a little weird, but stick with me. It's a technique from the ancient Stoics called negative visualization. What they did was intentionally imagine losing the things they cared about most. And you might be thinking, why on earth would I do that? Well, it was to build resilience, to actually appreciate what they had more, and to accept that some things are just out of our control. And that's exactly what Epictetus is getting at here. The most important thing you can do is figure out what you can control and what you can't. Because once you focus your energy only on your own thoughts and your own actions, all those external things just lose their power to make you afraid. Okay, now for a really cool piece of biology. Did you know that your body has its own built-in self-administering tranquilizer? It's true. It's called the vagus nerve, and it's this long nerve that basically wanders from your brain all the way down to your gut, connecting to most of your major organs. And the best part? You can actually turn it on whenever you want. How? It's so simple. Just breathe. A few slow, deep breaths, the kind that make your belly expand. That's what stimulates the vagus nerve. And when you do that, it slows your heart rate, calms your entire nervous system, and literally hits the brakes on that fight or flight response. It is an unbelievably powerful tool. So, we've talked a lot about how to manage fear and even how to use it. But here's a bigger question. Is it really the best way to stay motivated in the long run? All the research points to a pretty clear answer, and that answer is no. Fear might give you a kick in the pants for a little while, but it is a terrible strategy for long-term growth. Whether it's at work or just in our own lives, trying to motivate with fear always backfires. Research shows it just completely crushes enthusiasm, it destroys any sense of trust, and it stifles the one thing you need to solve tough problems: creativity. I mean, the contrast here couldn't be more clear. Fear just leads to short-term fixes and eventually burnout. But motivation that comes from love, and we can think of that as purpose or trust or inspiration, that's what sparks real innovation, it builds safety, and it's what truly unlocks our potential. It's the difference between running away from punishment and running towards something you truly believe in. So next time you feel it, that tightness in your chest, your mind starting to spin out with all the worst-case scenarios, I want you to remember what we talked about today. That feeling? It's not a stop sign. It's a signal. It's packed with energy and a ton of information. The only question left is, are you ready to listen to what it's telling you?